Okay, Aaron, thank you for signing up for Virtual Coach. Welcome to your initial evaluation, where I will go over both of the swings you sent in and try to steer this lesson toward the helpful notes that you included as well. So, looking for drills for early extension, which should help downswing steepness and flipping. Well, that's correct, and I would assume that we're on the same page because given the time of year, this is the time to work on such a major golf swing change, such as the hip pivot and early extension. So, first, I actually want to pick at your pre shot routine here. So, setup, we're going to talk about the technical aspect in a moment when we get back over the ball, but the things I want to point out about this practice swing are when you're at your top position, notice how your head has tilted back or turned. You're keeping your left eye down at the ball, but the bill of your hat has twisted toward the camera and your hips have opened up fully with a nearly extended back leg. Now we're zipping on over to your actual top position hitting the ball. Your arms and club are in a similar position. Hips have not quite opened up as much, and the head is, stuck down looking at the ball. I'm not here to tell you that's a bad thing, but when you are in a practice swing that sort of allows for this type of freedom to let the head tilt, there'll be much less tension in the swing, and I recommend doing lots of these type of practice swings that are tensionless but have proper mechanics. And your mechanics are slightly off when you're doing this drill, so let's get a couple lines, 1 and 2 through the spine. You've got two pieces of your practice swing. The first is half good, half bad. The half good is that you maintain your wrist angles, keep that club inside, and do a pretty nice job of keeping that trail elbow tucked. And obviously your spine is down below that yellow line. But you don't really turn your body at all, which is the bad part of this first part of your practice swing. Now, you're going to rip it back again. Your body's well below that spine angle as you've tilted down. But now here's the miniature version of your golf swing, where deleting that initial line and just starting from where you're at near the top, you will have a miniature version of the early extended jump where your hips don't turn enough and then your body is forced to stand up, making way for that club to come through impact without chunking the ground. So the modification, actually one last thing, is when you do swing across a ball like that, your exit plane will be too far to the left. I'd like to see that club exit a little bit more up through your shoulder in the follow through as well, if you can see that club. You see it right there in the corner of your net. Try to get that up a little bit higher because that will tell me that you extended more out with the path. But I digress. Let's get back to that practice swing one last time and make a clear instruction for you. So similar position from setup, similar top, let the head tilt, let your body move, but instead of pivoting to stop, really focus on keeping your chest down, your elbow in tight, but make your hips move rather aggressively on a turn through. This is a practice swing. You're not going to hit the ball. You stop there because your hands are just trying to stop from making impact. But don't stop the hips there. Continue pivoting them open, and even if you do chunk the ground or just hit that club right smack into the wood on the ground, I don't care, because you will have to continue to do that and then adjust your wrist angles through strike, but keep that body moving and keep the chest down as you do it. It's very important to do one, maybe two at most of those practice swings, and then step right into the ball and go. I believe there's too much time between when you step up to this ball and when you pull the trigger, because after a few waggles and a couple twists of the body, you almost have lost anything that you've done back here with that practice swing. One waggle, one twist, then go. The motion really doesn't look bad when you look at it in real time, but a little bit more knee flex from the start, and your arm position is hanging too far away from your body, which will cause your wrist to bow down. Now, some can do that with the long clubs and drivers to generate speed, but I don't like that for consistency with the irons. I'd like to see your arms a little bit more straight down and the club at what would probably be a little bit of a flatter angle from the start. Now you can take it away more upright from there, but when you do have your wrists bowed down like this, what tends to happen in the takeaway is not necessarily a bad wrist angle, but a supination of the right arm to roll it open. So if that's confusing, look up forearm rotation and how that affects club face, because when your right hand has rolled open, that face is going to fillet open a bit here as well. So plenty of content on that, but from the top, I've already given you the instruction on what I believe is going to fix your early extension, which is a pivoting back hip, posted up left knee, and then a covering of the ball with that elbow staying down. You're going to hit a lot of chunk shots. Go ahead. I want you to chunk the next 2 practice sessions just by covering the ball and keeping down, because we can make another adjustment very, very easily based off of that. But nice work for the iron. Let's jump on over to your driver swing, which now has the same type of setup like you're about to do a practice swing, but you should be robotic. And what I mean is do the same type of practice swing that you're doing with the irons with the driver, exception being don't hit the ground. Continue really forcing your body turn, but I already like the way you're setting up to this ball with more of that closed stance being held onto. When you were swinging that iron, you were rocking your body open and closed, and then you ended up square. This is a very powerful draw bias position with the stance being the way it is, but the arm extended away from your body gives your wrist that same type of position as well. It's a fairly weak right-handed grip, but match that with a neutral to strong left hand, and we got something. Set up with the path. Let's just see where this thing's gonna go. A couple more rocks. Then the takeaway. Slow that down. Yep, hands on the path, club head to the inside. I assume more opening of the face. When you send in another one, make sure your phone is set to the max slow-mo. Might take you a couple tries to get the actual swing to be in slow motion, but when you do, the quality will be great. Arm position, great. Flat across the chest. Looks like this path is going to be inside, but a cupping of the left wrist from that strong grip may be opening the face a little bit more than what you like. No idea where the face is, but your knuckles are pointed more up toward the sky. Club head is somewhere in here, way to the inside out. But, for a first step, I think you're going to be okay with that. This driver swing is where you end up making the most apparent early extension, because when you try to generate speed, it comes from the ground as you try to jump up. And there's more than a few inches of that hip extension there. But I would put your driver away for a couple weeks. The early extension move is best suited working on an iron to get a downward strike, and then you can try to transmit that to your driver. But for now, given what I'm seeing out of your driver numbers, let's take a zoom in on this real quick. I can't really tell what's what, but total 271, 261, not a ton of rollouts. Where's the spin? Spin's slightly high at 3,200. I can't tell your path and face, but all these smaller numbers tell me your path and face are within a degree. Ball speed 151 is not bad for a club speed of 97, launch of 15. The path is either 4 or 5, face either 4 or 5. So the higher spin's interesting. Might be a shaft issue, might be an angle of attack. I can't see if that number's up there, but descent angle at 38 is close. You want that at 35, but as you know, I ramble and digress. But go ahead and send any kind of follow-up questions you have to my email. And like I said, I'm working on a page for members now that will streamline the process of the virtual coach members. So good luck with those changes, Aaron. I may post a clip out of this, I may not. We'll find out. Sendaswing.com.